What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title, I have a super exciting new product to talk about. Today I'm going to be testing out and reviewing the Tati Blendiful's. I was honestly so excited when this first launched, and as you all know, in my previous video I literally just talked about how I would not drop the $20 to buy a beauty blender. Well, I guess the day has come where I'm gonna buy a blending puff instead. In one pack, you get 2 Blendifuls, 1 large and 1 small size. I jumped on this. I wanted to get it because her first launch of textured neutrals sold out like that. So I really wanted to hop on this opportunity and grab these sponges while I could. I'm going to be testing these out using all of my products today. These are an all-in-one sponge. They're supposed to be great for primer, foundation, contour, highlight, blush, all of it. The whole 9 if it goes on your face other than your eyes. This guy and this little guy are supposed to be able to do the trick. So as you can tell, I've gone ahead and already done my kind of dark eyebrows. I'm excited about this. They feel really soft. This one is super bendy and this one is a little bit more, I guess, stiff. This one to me is probably just gonna get thrown in my purse to use for touch-ups and stuff, but the texture feels like a microfiber almost, and it's very soft. As you can tell, it's a fabric-y material. So I'm just wondering if all of these little fibers right here are gonna leave streaks. From what I've seen, it's gotten amazing reviews, so let's go ahead and test it out. And in true Tati fashion today, I am going to double prime my face. I'm going to start by going all over the face with this Morphe. This is a actually new foundation primer. This is the Revitalizer. It's supposed to be a little bit more hydrating because my skin is a little dry with it being winter. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dab this directly onto the Blendiful, and we're going to blend that in. I have my mirror over here to my left like usual, and I'm gonna just use that to kind of make sure I'm spreading everything pretty evenly. So just on first glance, it feels really nice. I got all of that product off pretty immediately, but it's kind of holding on to some of it. Like I can tell it's still being spread all over the face, and I didn't use a crazy amount of primer or anything. Like I don't need a ton. I am going to be working around my eyebrows, so we're going to see how exact I can make this. Alright, that seems to be a pretty good base, and I mean, it feels pretty even. With primer you can't exactly always tell. And then I'm going to go in after that on the part where my pores are a little bit bigger with this Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. This is more of like a thicker silicone base rather than the Morphe, which is a little bit more liquidy, almost like a moisturizer. This one I always like to use around my nose to fill in the pores that are a little bit thicker. So we'll see how this gets picked up. Yeah, this is not really oh, I was wrong. Like, I couldn't really see it on the Blendiful, but as soon as I put it on my face, my pores were immediately filled. I don't know if you guys can tell because the camera is not super high definition, but like, this is pretty impressive that it was able to fill them like that, and I can't even really detect that the product is on the blender, so that's pretty nice. So I feel pretty primed and ready to go. I'm going to put half of my hair up and I will be right back. Alright you guys, I am back. As you know, I rock this hairstyle pretty often, and honestly it just helps because it keeps my hair out of my face while I'm putting on my makeup. I sometimes actually take it down after I'm done, or I leave it in. It's just, I'm not a big I don't like hair all up in my face. So I'm going to use the most liquid foundation that I have, which is this Soft Blur foundation by Benefit. I'm in the shade 1. This is a light to medium coverage foundation, so it doesn't really cake my face, and just like before, I'm going to pour that directly onto the Blendiful. I'm not using a whole lot because I want to be able to kind of go in after and maybe pick up more product if I need to. I am going to try more of a like stroking motion. That's just kind of what I saw her do. The stippling to me just doesn't, yeah, I like this a lot more. It's kind of like a a kneading almost that kind of helps blend it out the best. And honestly, I'm surprised that none of my product really stayed on there. It all came off fairly well. I like this because I think even though it's $18, I'm actually probably going to end up saving $18 worth of product by it not being absorbed into something like a sponge, because my sponges, honestly, I don't use them very much, as you guys have seen on my channel. I prefer the brush I have, a nice kabuki brush, because it doesn't seem to take up as much of my product, and to me, the kabuki brush is a little bit more full coverage. I do have to worry about those streaks, so I sometimes will go in with a beauty blender afterwards and stipple it a little bit just so it doesn't look so brush strokey, I guess. Honestly, this went on super easy, and where I can use that swiping motion, I can get close to my brows but get around them and not have to worry about like a few of my brush like strands getting in there or the sponge accidentally hitting it, because with this I can bend it and make it a little more precise if I needed to. I'm honestly really happy with that. And again, I didn't use a super full coverage foundation. I just wanted to see how it would work with a more liquid base. But I am going to go in with my classic Shape Tape concealer for under the eyes and all my concealing areas. I am in the shade Light Neutral. So we're just gonna go in here, get that under eye area nice and coated. I like to go just a few swipes on the forehead, down the nose, and on the chin area. I also cover up any spots I have. Again, with this being a pretty light coverage foundation, I usually have more spots showing through, but like honestly, I don't know if it's the blender, but it seems like more of my redness was covered up. And again, that could just be me like overhyping the product in my head, but I'm pretty impressed so far, I'm not gonna lie. And I am a big Tati fan, so I might be just a little bit biased. She really inspired me to make my YouTube channel at a young age. I remember watching her and being so inspired. I was like, I want to be able to do makeup. I remember going to the Bare Minerals counter after watching her talk about working there, and I was like, oh, this is where Tati worked. Like, it's not MAC. I could not afford MAC, but it was still like high-end makeup. It wasn't, you know, the Walmart special. So I went and got my first foundation, my first, I think there was a concealer, a translucent powder, and maybe a blush. I think that was everything. It was just like a starter kit that they kind of gave you. They shade matched me at the counter and everything. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, this is like Tati approved because she worked here. So I don't know, to me, I just thought that was really neat. It was a cool experience. And then I kind of started learning a little bit more about makeup, and then I kind of fell off. I got really busy. I was a big academic student in high school. I was way more into school than I was into makeup and taking care of my like complexion and things like that. I just wasn't into beauty, and now I've kind of gotten back into it. I'm a little bit more interested in discovering kind of what I can do with it. I am so impressed. I don't think my like concealer and foundation have ever gone this quick, like on this quickly. There's no streaking. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I mean, the lighting's a little bright because I got a little closer, but there's no streaks. That's honestly my biggest pet peeve when it comes to using like a brush or something, is that I have to go through and buff out all of those streaks. So I feel like I'm just applying my makeup twice in a way, because I've already brushed it on and then I have to go in with a sponge after that and stipple again and kind of blend it more. So this is just an all-in-one. Also, I'm sure you all can tell there is virtually no product really left on this except maybe on this end, and honestly this is machine washable, which I love. You just throw it in like a lingerie bag, or you can also hand wash this in your sink, and they are dryer friendly as well. You just want to make sure you're using it on like a gentle wash and dry. I am going to go into my Too Faced Cocoa Contoured palette. This is the old one. They have since updated this palette, as I found out when I was doing a little bit of research. I went to, it might have been Ulta's website, and I saw it and I was like, oh, mine doesn't look like that. Mine is super old, but it's an oldie but a goodie. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in and put that on in a swiping motion similar to how I placed the foundation. And I'm kind of trying to look and see if it's pulling any of that foundation off, because this does actually kind of remind me of the texture, like the makeup eraser almost, but it's not actually pulling that foundation layer off. Not that I can tell anyway, which is honestly really impressive. I honestly just did my contour a little bit too low, but that's okay. We're not going crazy or anything. This is giving like a really nice blend. I'm gonna go in and correct that a little bit in a minute. Ah, I forgot to set my under eyes. Okay, let's go in. I'm gonna go in with some NYX powder and just set my under eyes. I am currently waiting on an order to come in of some new setting powder that I'm gonna try. It's not a new product or anything, but it will be new to me and I'm gonna be reviewing it. That is also going to be coming up within the next few weeks. Also, along with this order, because Textured Neutrals was brought back, I did go ahead and order that as well, so stay tuned for a review on that. I'm very excited. I'm a big eyeshadow girl. That's honestly kind of how I got into makeup and started on makeup in the first place, was eyeshadow. I remember, like, my mom really never wore a lot of makeup when I was a kid, but I remember like Halloween parties and stuff, and Halloween in particular, she actually did her makeup for her costumes, and I was like, oh my gosh, like she should do this all the time. And so honestly, having a mom who wasn't into makeup made me a little bit more curious about it. My mom wasn't into it, so I kind of learned about it from the internet and other people, and I was like, that's so cool. I feel it's like kind of like art for your face. So I just kind of started playing around with it as I got a little bit older, and then my schedule just got really busy and I stopped kind of thinking about it, and then I was just like, eh. Then I found kind of college and I was like, ooh, I kind of liked doing that actually. So I got back into it recently, very recently, ever since I came back home, and I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that excess powder away. I did use the mini sponge to do my setting powder. Don't have any creases under the eyes, which is good. I like to just go ahead and take my setting powder and like cut up my contour. It sharpens it up just a little bit, especially where I brought that one down a little bit too low. This just kind of cleans things up for me. It is a little, it picks up a lot. Whew. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna let that sit and bake for a little bit. Now I'm going to go into blush. Let's see. I'm gonna use this Becca palette. This, I'm going to use the shade Wisteria. This is an old palette to me, but I think I got it in Christmas in 2000, I want to say 18. This blush is a little bit bright for me, so I'm like almost a little bit hesitant because I'm like, ooh, is this gonna place too much? Like I usually have to go in with a light hand with this. I don't like my face to look super, super red. Honestly, I'm not mad at that. So let's just even it up on the other cheek. Next, I'm going to go into my Hyper Real Glow palette from MAC, and I am going to go into this middle shade right here. This is a comeback. I got this palette and reviewed it in the video where I did like my TJ Maxx and Marshalls haul. I wasn't expecting that to place so well, but wow, like that looks really good. That's super poppin'. I wasn't like, I don't know, I guess I'm picking up more product than is necessary because I'm used to using brushes and a sponge. But I really like the way this is like blending and placing product. Okay, I'm gonna go in with this little one again and just brush away that excess bake. This is, yeah, this brushes away nicely. Okay, and I think that is it for the Blendiful. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes and I will be right back. I am back, my eyes are done, and honestly, I am loving the way this turned out. My face is like just blended. It's so light. Like I don't feel like I'm got a ton of makeup just caked on my face. And if you like this eye look, then stay tuned for later this week. I will be reviewing and doing a quick tutorial on the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1. I'm really excited because this is Volume 1. That means I hope that Tati comes out with another palette. I've already just kind of tested this out today, and I love the way this look turned out. Super pigmented, and honestly, this look today is the fastest I have ever done my makeup, and honestly, I added some steps that I used to never even do, so pretty excited about that. Let me know if you guys got a Blendiful. Do you think it's worth the $18 for these two little guys? And do you think that they're useful? Were you excited about this product? Because honestly, I was more excited hearing about the palette than I was these blending puffs. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna try it. But then I was like, I don't have a real beauty blender. I have all the knockoff versions. This is a game changer, I think, to my makeup routine. So let me know what you guys think in the comments if you got yours. And if you haven't already, subscribe down below. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.